You are listening to Maria Wern 3, May Death Sleep, by Jansson. Narrated by me, Sofia Engstrand. Chapter 1. Perhaps it was the tears clouding her vision, or the bleeding sunset as it filtered through the fog, blinding her. As it left the past, the thought was too slow to be of any use in the present. By the time her foot hit the brakes, the man was already in front of the car, a grey shadow. Adina just had time to see the look of surprise on his face before her entire world turned upside down. The treetops and loose snow seemed to swirl around her head until the car landed softly in the ditch. A sharp, hoarse scream cut through the red evening sky. Needle pricks of adrenaline travelled all the way to her fingertips. Her hands had frozen, clinging stiffly to the steering wheel. Her muscles, tensed up in self-defence, were waiting for an impact that never came. Waiting. And then, everything fell silent, completely still and soundless. There was no wind in the trees. The snow had stopped swirling. Had the scream been her own? Had she just killed someone? Was she condemned to everlasting guilt by a moment of inconceivable injustice? Adina felt numb as she fell into deep yet sluggish thought. If she could go back in time a couple of minutes, nothing would have happened. Perhaps it hadn't even happened. If she closed her eyes, she could maybe pretend it hadn't. It was only a bad dream. Slowly, Adina opened her eyelids. The car was definitely in the ditch. Reality hit her like a slap in the face. She had knocked someone down. With an immense effort, she crawled out of the passenger side. The driver's door was blocked by a tree. Only then did she realise just how close to death herself she had come. A couple more inches and... Blood was dripping from her nostrils and onto her white dress. She tilted her head back and pinched the bridge of her nose. "Hello?" Adina's voice sounded muffled through the fog. "Hello? Are you hurt? Please, answer me." Apart from the snow crunching beneath her shoes, there wasn't a sound in the quivering silence, which ate its way gently into her consciousness. There wasn't a car in sight on the road, no one who could help her search in the dusky light. Adina followed the tyre tracks back to where she had slammed on the brakes. She searched the ditches on both sides of the road, calling out to the stranger she thought she had seen. Nothingness echoed back, mocking her. She needed to get help. She had to call the police. There was no point getting back in her vehicle. How long had it been since she had passed the riding school? How far away could it be? A mile? Maybe more? Adina started walking in her thin, high-heeled pumps, slipping on the slushy snow, scraping her knee on the tarmac, and then limping on along the road. Her suit jacket was made of such fine fabric, but she didn't feel the cold. Her breath left her mouth as mist. A forbidden thought of running away crept into her mind. Where, though? Where could you possibly flee from your own experiences? The idea was as ridiculous as it was fleeting. She couldn't bear the thought of being the only person who knew about this terrible thing that had happened. Erik had stared at her, with eyes that appeared to suddenly see her, really see her. He had come into the bathroom and was just picking up his razor from the cabinet when she stepped out of the shower. His white hand with its visible veins was resting on the wash basin as he leaned forward. Then, he had turned towards her, just as she was reaching for her towel. She could have sworn that he saw her bruises, but he said nothing.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?